Sup, everybody? Welcome to the show. We've got a great show lined up for you this week where we will be talking about Will's Wildcard.
Yes, sir. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I have pushed the button.
We'll be going to all the Gameweek 4 fixtures this week and looking at all the games individually about which teams, which players you should be targeting. And then we will cap off the show as we always do with Match of the AI. This week it is the North London Derby. Let's do it. Okay, can't see if they're dancing. I'm just going to assume you are. What's up, Willie? How you doing, mate?
Hey, Tommy. Yeah, I'm good, man. I've had a good week. Back in London now. Back in London.
Yeah, buddy. What day are we on? Tuesday morning, everybody. When did you get back?
Got back last Friday. God, I had a nightmare on Friday. But then on Friday, I managed to snag tickets to go and see Fred Again's album launch at the Alexandra Palace. And I took my friend who lives down my way, Ben, and then also managed to snag 2 tickets for this amazing woman who's just come out of chemotherapy, and she brought her husband along, and it was a magical evening. So, yeah, it was a good night. But I was a bit worse for wear on Saturday. And then just chilled, watched football, just did not much this weekend.
Did you watch the England game?
I watched the second half. Yeah, I watched all of it. We were right.
Good. I'm glad someone did, mate. I did not watching it. I was at a golf weekend. I had a golf weekend this weekend.
Oh, yes!
And I mean, to be honest, I wouldn't have even watched it anyway, to be honest. I'm not a big fan of these games, man. You know, friendly against Ireland. Did I miss anything?
Nah, not really. It was nice to see some different changes in the squad. I won't go into it too much. I'll go too deep. But
boring,
different faces, and hopefully we just come out and play. Though it looked like the first half was dominant. Second half, we should have shut them out like 5-0. To be fair, that's all you need.
The best thing about the game, as far as I can tell, is that 2 ex-Ireland players scored the goals just for fans. It was great.
It was good. They were good goals, to be fair. But yeah, classic. Couldn't write that, can you? But hang on a minute. So you had the amateurs.
Yeah.
How did you get on?
I played a fantastic course. The course was lovely. Really, like one of the best. We played, as I mentioned, Remedy Oak Golf Club.
Yeah.
You come in, they look after you. They're really nice. They're like, here's your goodie bag. You get like free beer and free teas, a lovely little leather bag. Hey, look, I've got it right here, in fact.
Get it.
Check this out. You see that? Honestly, mate, it's lovely and furry inside. You could probably keep your balls in there. You know what I mean? And, yeah, I haven't had the beer yet. Dribbled a little bit.
You mentioned your balls and I started dribbling.
Yeah, exactly. You'd stick your balls in there. It's lovely in there. And then we went out and played golf, and it all went to pot, mate. It was rainy, man. It was like they had a month's worth of rain in the 2 days leading up to when we went, and we just got away with it. Just about got away with it, but I'm a fair weather golfer, mate. If it's not like, I need sun even to give me half a chance. Pissing down with rain is not my thing.
No wind, no rain, nothing.
And even then, mate, I'm struggling. Do you know what I mean? So, it's good to get out with the boys. We went out in Bournemouth after and had a few drinky poos. It was lovely, but yeah, no good golf played on my part.
Fair enough.
But yeah, that's enough of us. Shall we get on with the show?
Yeah, go on then. Why not?
What are you going to say? Then?
I was just going to say that should we get on with it?
All right, fine. Why beat you to it, mate? Let's get on with it. So, guys, this week we'll be going through Will's Wildcard, and we'll be looking ahead to our Gameweek 4 fixtures. And then we've got a little bit of Match of the AI at the end. We've got a big twist this week. We are pushing the envelope with Match of the AI this week. This could be another massive fail, but let's see. But let's kick off with some listener questions.
Oh, yes.
Question 1. Question for Will is from Johnny in Ringwood. Hey guys,
hi, Johnny.
Love the show. Is it true, Will, that you were once thrown overboard in a Biffy Clyro promo?
Oh, that is true. How do you even know that? Is that one of your pals, Tom?
That is
Maybe.
one of my pals. I might have
Oh,
preloaded that one.
yeah.
I
No,
know it's a good one. Any excuse to bring that up.
we once, Tom and I, we used to work together on like music videos back in the day. And when we were runners, it got late in the day, and the director wanted this like stunt, and we had this amazing battleship. It was an amazing set. I think it won best dress, best like music video art
It was
direction or
for
whatever.
it was for the video, the
So
captain
good.
took it
Check
out.
it out.
Yeah.
And they wanted a little stunt at the end of the day, and it'd gone midnight. And they put us, Tom and I, both in wardrobe, and boy, we looked a pair. And our boss at the time was like, "We'll jump off the like when they shoot the gun, just like jump off. When I say bang, just throw yourself off." And I threw myself off the side of this really high battleship onto some crash mats, and I flung my legs in the air, and I ripped the seam of my trousers, and you could hear it when we were recording it. And there's a great take where Tom looks at the camera and goes, "He deserved that."
Yeah, mate,
And
I've
it's
got to dig that
one of my
out. I should
faves.
chuck that on socials actually. I've got to dig that
I
out.
get
But
it.
yeah, I
I've
mean,
got
mate,
it. I've got it.
that was a proper stunt that you did actually. Thinking back, like that would never happen now. Do you know you did a proper
No
stuntman
way.
job? Never
I've
happen
got
now.
it. I've got it. We'll put it on the YouTube cut, and but yeah,
Yeah.
we'll stick it on
I'm in
socials.
there
That's
somewhere
hilarious.
getting dragged away. Like I had like some pirate because we were like what do you call them? Like the admirals or whatever, dressed in all the
Yeah.
and it was like a mutiny and the pirates took over. Had me in a headlock, just dragging me across
Oh yeah.
the bow.
Yeah. There was
I don't know what the term is. God knows. But
some of
anyway,
them were rough. Those cast
yeah,
members, weren't they?
yeah, it was
Anyway, that was
funny.
brilliant. Who's
Right.
next?
Question to Jem from Bista. She says, "Hey Tom, Will's on Wildcard this week. When are you playing yours?"
Oh,
That is
good
a good
question.
question. At the moment, I'm locked in for game week 6. Thinking game
Hmm.
week 6, and reasons are for the fixture swings, which we're going to come to in a little bit. But yeah, game week 6 is a popular one. Quite a few teams suddenly lose their fixtures, and some interesting teams come into play, which we'll get into. Question 3. Uh, doesn't say who this one's from. Hey Tom, you sounded much better on last week's show. Is that a new mic? Funny story. Funny story, actually. Podcasting is tough, guys. Just want to say it's not a new mic. It just happened to be the first time I had it facing the correct direction. Um, not very
My
good at
goodness.
podcasting, as it turns out. Yeah, and I finally read the instructions and realized it was facing the wrong way the entire time for like the first 5 episodes. But yeah, thanks for
It
noticing, whoever you are. Hopefully, it's sounding nice and clear this week, and it's actually turned on.
it
Um,
was such a pain in the edit when we were editing. There was just like we sync it all up, and it was just Tom was just slightly delayed every time, and I couldn't really figure out why until he told me last week. Oh, I'm gonna have the mic facing the right way around this time. Just like, cheers, mate.
yeah, I was almost going to send the mic back. I was like, mate, this is rubbish. Rubbish. Sounds terrible.
You sound
Anyway,
great, mate.
right. That's the question. Just so we'll just nail off some comments. Billy from Dorset. Tom, you're the best. Thanks, Billy. Ben from London. Love the pod. Cheers, lads. Thanks, Ben. Mark from Norfolk. Keep up the good work. Big Baz. Serious. More Will,
Yes.
less Tom. This guy,
I
man.
love Big Baz. He's so
I'm
good.
starting to, mate, next week, Biz Baz, I want a little more respect from you. Otherwise, you are not getting read out on the show.
You'll
Okay?
always be
Thank you
read
very
out,
much.
Baz. Good stuff. Love it. Love listener
Let's move on.
questions.
Let's move on. Right, let's get into
Okay.
it. It's Will's wild card, everybody. Will, talk us through your decision to lay it down in game week 4.
Well, it was always part of the plan to either be in 4 or 6, and that was like I always try and be a little bit fluid. Like I have a plan, and if I change my plan, that's okay. Like didn't expect to play the free hit in week 2. That was a bit of madness, but whatever. But I looked at them. I looked at the fixtures, and I know the fixture swings, which I know Tom's going to cover and come back to in 6, or maybe we're going to talk about it now. But I just felt I was like, I don't think there's going to be a huge amount of difference between 4 and 6 for me personally. I like I prefer it this week than in 6. So without further ado, I have got Martinez in goal and Fabianski. I've switched those two up just because they rotate nice. Well, I don't. Not that I'm going to rotate Martinez. He's just better. I would like to have Raya in there. I had Raya in there, and now I can't. I've put Gabriel in. I've put Konsa in. I've put Dunk in. Greaves is still on the bench, and I've also downgraded Trent to Robertson, which I'm okay with. And then in the midfield, I've got Minter, Palmer, Eza, Onana, Mohamed Salah, and then up front, I've got João Pedro, Haaland, and then Ujo. Is it Ujo? Uji? Oh God, I feel
Hmm.
so bad.
Hmm.
Ujo, for Nottingham Forest. Um, they're my changes so far. The only thing that I've changed, that I keep on flipping, flopping between, is Gabriel and Martinez. Oh no, Consa. Well, those three: Martinez, Gabriel, and Consa. And I'm just I'm not sure.
So you're unsure about your
Yeah,
goalie. You're unsure about Gabriel, and who's the other Consa?
Consa. I just going. It's not where I wanted to be. This isn't what I wanted. I wanted Raya in goal, and then I had can't remember who I had instead of Consa. Someone else. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's where I'm at. What you saying? What are you going to change my mind about?
Yeah, I mean, it feels like you're gonna want some Arsenal coverage because obviously, right, you're playing your wild card. This has got to see you through to Christmas. Obviously, you can save up transfers, but you never know how
Mm,
realistic that's going to be. We know that Arsenal's fixtures get better. They've got, well, like I say, they've got basically game week 6 to 8. They've got very good fixtures. They've got Leicester, Southampton at home, both of those at home, and then Bournemouth away. So you know you're going to want a little bit of coverage for them. So a lot of like the wild card in game week sixes, those guys will
mm.
be targeting Arsenal. So you obviously need to find a way to get to Arsenal for that little stretch of games. Like going into that without Arsenal coverage is probably going to be a little bit hairy.
Well, that's why I've gone with Gabriel, and of course he does have that attacking threat. Saliba is doesn't have the same attacking threat as Gabriel. He's up there for corners. Gabriel's always done well for me, but I did just like Raya in goal. He seems to be he's getting a lot of saves. He looks really good. Like I just like him to get into that defense. But I don't mind Gabriel, and I don't mind Konsa switching over to like that. If I just set and forget Gabriel from now on, that's absolutely fine because I've still got Konsa, and they rotate pretty well. Concert has got nice fixtures: Everton, Wolves, Ipswich, Manchester United, who are dog shit, Fulham, and Bournemouth at the moment. And then, like, so that's nice. And he's starting and he's getting forward, and I like him. And then I've got Dunk and Robertson. So I've got loads of people in defence. I'm happy with defence actually. The only thing I really really want is I wish I had enough money for Trent because I know he's going to haul at any point soon. But the attacking threat is similar with Robertson, like, but Trent is tipping it, and he just passed the eye test. Like he just looked better. Like he's just pinging balls around. Trent looks
Yeah,
great this season,
Trent always
which I'm
looks
really
good.
happy
He
for.
always looks good. And
Mhm.
Liverpool have still got decent fixtures. They've still
Nice.
got at least three good fixtures. Then it gets a little bit hairy around like game week 7, Crystal Palace away. I can tell you as a Liverpool fan, always a bogey fixture for us every
For,
time,
for,
every
for
time.
everyone, same for United. We hate Crystal Palace. It's such a
Yeah.
difficult fixture.
Yeah.
Tell me
So
about that team.
you could say, so up to game week 6 is almost
Hmm.
where the Liverpool run ends because then we're going into Crystal Palace away, Chelsea at home, Arsenal
Yeah,
away, Brighton after that, Aston Villa after that.
yeah,
Then you've got Southampton, then you're suddenly Man City and Newcastle. Like that is quite
yeah.
a tricky run for Liverpool, particularly defensively. I'm
Well,
not saying
that's
we're going to
where.
lose those games, but their clean sheets are
Mm.
going to be hard to come by.
Well, that's where my plan. That's what I was planning for because then, personally, I'm giving it all away. But I was thinking about switching Robinson to someone like a Pedro Porro or depending, we'll come to, yeah, depending how Lewis is, like for Man City. Man City are just dicey with, as we know, with fixtures and who's going to actually play, and especially when Champions League starts. But I was looking at Pedro Porro to switch to Robertson because Tottenham fixtures get a little bit better, and hopefully they'd be a little bit more in their stride by that point. So yeah, that's where I'm. Sorry, my dog's just running around.
Luna, go away. We're recording a podcast.
Get away, Luna. Midfield looks nice. I'm okay with the midfield. It's very strong, in my opinion.
Yep. I mean, it's strong. Obviously, you've got some big hitters in this team. You've managed to get Harla and Harla. Yeah, I'll go there. Yeah,
Allah.
Harla. You've got Salah and Haaland, and Palmer, and you've still got like a premium defense with Gabriel and Robertson. Um, yeah, it's a good team,
And
mate. It is a
Dunk.
good-looking team.
Don't
And
forget Dunk.
Sam Duncan, yeah. So I think
Slam
my
Dunk.
only thoughts is this is a good, solid team. But I do think you're going to be needing to make quite a few transfers quite quickly because
Who?
you've got
Where?
triple Brighton, right? And although Brighton have got a good next two, suddenly game week 6, Chelsea, Tottenham, Newcastle, Wolves, then
Fine.
Liverpool, City. So it's like, they're a good team, but they're not fixtures that I'll be targeting really.
But
I
that's
think
what I'm
you'd be
gonna.
wanting to get off. Obviously, you've got a bit of time to get off by then, but then perhaps also you're going to be considering losing maybe one of your Villa defensive assets around game week 7 because they start getting into trickier runs where I don't see many clean sheets for them realistically after game week 6.
Mm,
Likewise for Liverpool, as we already said. So you could argue that your entire back line in your starting lineup, Konsa, Robertson, Dunk, you might want to be reinvesting. I think the only thing you've got is they're good teams, and Robertson's attacking, so he's
hmm.
always good to hold. But yeah, you could say that you're going to be relying on attacking returns from those guys, I would say.
Oh
And
yeah,
then
no, definitely.
um, yeah, and it just feels like, and I'm going to do you a favour. I was weighing up not telling you just for banter, but your Forest forward, I'm struggling with this one. You, Joe,
Mm.
he's left the club yesterday.
Yeah, that's. I mean, that I could replace any of those
Yeah,
those sort
sure.
of 4.5.
Yeah,
I was like, but yeah, unfortunately, that I was really looking for someone that was going to drop below the 4.5 line. No one's dropping just yet, but the yeah, the only thing that I mean, my plan. What the thing is with the rotations is with those fixtures that are coming up, and I know I've planned to sort of like change Palmer out for Saka when the swings. I think that I can still get away with it. The only thing that I didn't like was, and that is the only problem, is Konsa in defence.
yeah, it's tricky, mate. It is tricky. I just think, I think the wild card is in game week 4. Just need to be a little bit careful. Just to
Mm.
obviously game weeks 4 and 5. That those teams that look good in those 2 game weeks, then suddenly not so good kind of after 6, which is why 6 is proving popular. So you just need to kind of safeguard yourself a little bit,
Oh
and I
yeah.
think almost plan your transfers accordingly so that
Well, I have.
by the time
Yeah.
you get to game week 6 or 7, you're getting that Arsenal coverage that you need.
Oh yeah.
And there's other teams as well, like Man City have got a good run, 7 to 10.
Oh,
Like a lot of people are going to
they're
want
so
some good
treacherous
City
though.
coverage. They are, but at the same time, like I think you can almost call a lot of their midfield now. I guess with Grealish coming back into play, there is going to be more bench selection headaches. You'd think Foden's going to be coming back soon after his illness.
Hmm.
Um, but KDB's solid for minutes usually. Let's see. But yeah, like I say, and there's other teams as well. There's going to be some good differentials you're going to be looking at. Like Brentford have got a good run, 6 to
Yeah.
13.
Yeah.
Everton, they've got a good run, 5 to 14. And although Everton haven't been getting the
I
results,
know.
they've actually been playing really well.
Absolutely.
Although
Yeah.
you know, although they're not getting the results, they are looking good. I've kind of earmarked, believe it or not, mate, I've actually earmarked Calvert-Lewin to come into my team game week 6 on my wild card at the
Well,
moment.
Well, I totally agree, and Everton can go on streaks for sure. We saw it last season. Pickford decided to start just picking up clean sheet after clean sheet after clean sheet and getting saves, and he was dynamite last season.
Let me read you these fixtures for Everton. So this is game week 5 all the way up
Yeah.
to game week 12.
Oh, just look at
Leicester,
it. Yeah.
yeah, Leicester away, Crystal Palace at home, Newcastle at home, Ipswich away, Fulham at home, Southampton away, West Ham at home, West Ham away, sorry, and Brentford at home. But
Mm,
there's if they can tighten up, mate, as we know they can do, then there could be some points in there. There's some good fixtures, so Everton definitely someone to bear in mind, particularly for differentials, which is what we need, especially if you're packing the likes of Salah and Haaland in your team and Palmer. You need these differentials. Other teams to bear in mind, just going ahead, if you are on wildcard. So as we said about Arsenal, they're looking good 6 to 8. City game week 7 to 10. Villa are good up to game week 9. Brentford 6 to 13. Ipswich, they've got a good run up to game week 10. That starts now. They've got Brighton, Southampton,
mm,
Villa, West Ham, Everton, Brentford, Leicester. If you've got the likes of Greaves in defence, I think he's a great little asset. Again,
hmm.
really good enabler. I believe he's still 4.0.
He
Um,
is.
yeah. Man United, obviously we know about Man United, but they're kind of. I think if you're a game week 6 wildcarder, they might have found some stability by then. Hopefully with Ugarte coming in, they might be better defensively. And then after kind of game week 7, so game week onwards, they get a nice little run. If they've managed to settle down by
Yeah.
then, the likes of Mazraoui will become popular again, and probably Bruno
Hmm.
as well.
Yeah, Bruno
Um,
for sure.
Spurs have got a lovely little run, game week 5 to game week 11. If Solanke's back, I think he's obviously been massively transferred out since his injury. I think he'll be coming back into teams quite
Hmm.
soon. Um, yeah, so lots to think about. Lots to think about. I think you've looked at some good options. Any of
Yeah.
what we've discussed, thinking you might want to reconsider any of your team? Or obviously, I know you're
I
still
mean,
thinking about stuff.
yeah, I mean, as I said, just I'm flip flopping around, just trying to work that defense out to try and squid. I just don't think Raya is a possibility, unfortunately, and maybe I just brought as I just texted you this morning, Tom. I brought in Martinez in goal because I was like, oh, that I had point 0.5 in the bank, and then I think I had Flecken in goal at 4.5, and his, as we said, Brentford fixtures get better, which enables me to have a little bit more breathing room in the defence. So I'm going to have to look at the defence. I think it's going to be a change. I think I'm going to keep Greaves, Dunk, Gabriel, and Robertson, and then that fifth place in defence. Try and find a really nice rotation, just that really works in those few game weeks. But I am looking at it, and then as you said, plan those transfers of and when. I know that Palmer's going to be changed for Saka, and the only other thing is João Pedro. Um, he's looked great. I'm not too sure if he played during the international break or not. He was selected, I believe, but I'm not too
He got
sure if he
called up. He
played.
got called up by Brazil. Most of the South American games, I believe, are either tonight or tomorrow.
I think,
Um,
I think off the top of my head, I thought that he was. I think it's Wednesday and traveling. That means he's traveling back on Thursday, and then they've got. I think they've got a fixture on. I think it's Saturday, isn't it?
so they're playing
Yeah,
1:30 a.m. our time Wednesday morning. So tonight,
yeah.
essentially.
And then he's got Brighton Ipswich at 3 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. Sorry. So it's
Yeah.
tricky, mate. He might not
It's
be playing.
punchy. It's
Might not be.
punchy. And you might be right to ask how much minutes he gets because maybe if he doesn't play, might be all right for the weekend.
It's a
But
shame
the thing is,
because Ipswich at home be licking his lips for that one.
yeah, I think it'll just like I say, it'll just be worth considering whether it's worth keeping him in for these two. I mean, they're two great fixtures, but if you're tripled up, you do from game week 6 onwards, you're going to start thinking about getting those guys out. So it's just planning your transfers, like I say, so you're not left with too many players with dodgy fixtures come game week 6 and 7.
It's going to
Great,
be good with
nice
the
one, mate. So,
rotation.
you what? Sorry.
Yeah. I think it's just going to be. I think I'm going to more focus on rotation to make sure those tricky fixtures rotate nicely, and then plan the other. They definitely will. I definitely will lose a Brighton somewhere along the line, but yeah, as long as the rotation's all right, I think we're good.
Yep, nice. Yeah, really nice, mate. Yeah, honestly, some of the wildcard teams I've seen, mate, really tasty. I'm just like, how are you getting
Mm,
all these guys in? I was at the beginning of the season, you were looking at your teams trying to get Salah and Haaland in, thinking, oh, mate, there's no way I can do that. This looks terrible. But now we've seen so many of the mid-priced assets looking good. Suddenly, these
hmm
teams just look much better than they did, a month ago.
Well,
So
it's
yeah,
also that power. It's that power of getting, as we've always said about the wild card. When you if you know you're going to do it, you've got to press it button as soon as you can and look at those fixtures, those pricing shifts, and try and get in there early because it does make a massive difference. If I had that point too, I would have a better. It looked a lot better on Sunday night when I was flapping around with what I was going to do, but it's still good. I'm still happy, and I'm definitely not regretting pressing the wildcard button. I like it. It's fun, and yeah, it still requires a hell of a lot of luck, as we do know about FPL. So
yes,
anyway,
sir. Right. Yeah,
that's a
like
big
game week
old bit of
fixtures.
wildcard.
Okay, right. So, okay, let's do it. Game week 4 fixtures. Let's get into these, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
Early kickoff again for Manchester United this Saturday, away to Southampton. How you feeling going into that game, Will?
Um, I mean, I'm getting a little bit swayed by the press at the moment and other content creators and whatnot about Ten Hag. I feel like there's only so many bad decisions you can make. I don't. We're in the net. His head is on the block in the next couple of weeks. If they don't get a result against Southampton, which is a really tight performance in the midfield, then we're in trouble. And hopefully, I'd like to see Gatti play. He played at the weekend. He played this week for Uruguay and looked pretty good. Saw some highlights. So fingers crossed we have a decent game against Southampton. We'll see who turns up.
Yeah, I think you'll be fine. I think unfortunately, I think you're going to turn up. You're going to put in a good performance. Saw a clip of Marcus Rashford.
Mm.
Suddenly, there's a lot of training videos coming out. I've been noticing on social media. I've seen Sterling knock out a training video. I've seen Rashford. Um, saw one with Chiesa, which wasn't half as entertaining as all the others. Chiesa just like an assist or something. I was like, oh, come on, mate.
Yeah, decent.
Um, but yeah, Rashford looks tasty. He looks like he's putting in the minutes, mate. If he's getting his head straight, then you're going to be in good shape. But let's see. But yeah, I think you're going to get I think you'll get a victory away to Southampton and a little bit of confidence. And I think
Mm.
Ten Hag might have a quieter week in the press next week. But let's see.
We shall
Um,
see.
Brighton versus Ipswich. Um, You would think this is a good one for Brighton, but we know Ipswich will pose a threat. Be interesting to see how the players come back from international duty. As we mentioned with João Pedro, maybe he
Mhm.
starts, maybe he comes on late into the half. Danny Welbeck will be a starter and be another popular selection for this week. Um, Palace versus Leicester. So Eze's dropped down to 6.9. Um, I think he's going to punish those guys who have got rid of him, man. I think he's not had a bad game. Do you know what I mean? So far, he's been so unlucky not to haul in every single game. He's got his goal in the last match, and I fancy him to get another one in this match.
Totally agree. Like I took him out, sure, very early on, just because because I knew that the price. It looked like the price was going to drop, so I got rid of him early, and I brought him straight back in. Now his price has dropped because we've got to remember as
Rude,
well.
love that.
I know it's dark. It's the dark arts of FPL, but the thing is he scored that free kick. Don't forget that free kick. He scored it. It should have been a goal. He's had multiple other chances. He's hit the bar multiple times. I know we don't talk about XG that much on this channel, but his XG is incredible. And he's on pens. We think so. He
Yeah,
is he's gonna punish them, man. He's gonna punish, as you said, punish those people that got rid of him and haven't brought him back in. He's gonna be a keeper for me, I reckon, from now on.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Fulham versus West Ham. This will be a tight affair for sure. We've got a
Mm,
London derby. Um, Fulham in decent form. West Ham not playing so bad. I saw that Fulkrug picked up an injury, so it could be another start for Antonio. Which is a shame for Fulkrug. He's not got his goal yet. So yeah, shame for
mm.
him. But yeah, I don't know. Who do you fancy in this game, Will?
That's going to be a good one. Always, it's going to be one of those classic ones, which is either going to be like a one-all draw, or it's going to be a full on goal fest. Like because if there's an early goal, then I think it opens up straight away. That's with most games. But I think Bowen is still slipping under the radar. I mean, what is his percentage owned by? Still barely anyone. And when he's on form, it's like he's such a good asset. So we'll see how he plays. I mean, he's owned by that can't be right. He's seven
Doing
point
our he's
five.
doing our differential team, mate. I need him to stay
Yeah,
down there. We love him. We need that
he's
guy.
he scored 8 points against Crystal Palace and 5 points against City. He's picked up the goal. He's only owned by 5.9%. I mean, it's wild. That's a wild statistic, and
Yeah,
he could make a huge difference, in my opinion.
yeah. This is definitely a game for Bowen. Kudus, his performance picked up against City. He was unlucky not to get a goal.
Mm,
So he'll be another one to keep an eye on. Emil Smith Rowe, obviously we know what he can do. Yeah, I think it'll
Wan
be a good game
Bissaka.
actually. I'll be looking forward to seeing this one.
Yeah, yeah, me too.
Um, Liverpool versus Nottingham Forest. Um, so we've got might have a small issue on the left-hand side with Diaz. He's playing tonight for Colombia. He might come back. He might be looking at reduced minutes for the weekend. Under Jurgen Klopp, this would usually be a slam dunk for a rotation. He usually always rotated the South American players if they were traveling from far away. Um, so this could be usually that would involve Nunes, but Nunes was actually suspended for Uruguay. So in theory, he's fresh, and this would you would think would be the ideal time for him to start a game for Slot and get a run out, and let's see how he's feeling this season. He's due. I think with all the Liverpool fans have got a little soft spot for Nunes. We'd love to see what he's got and whether or not he can fit in a Slot system. I think Slot seems to prefer Diaz because Diaz puts more on a shift defensively and pressing from the front. Nunes can be a little bit less involved, shall we say. But yeah, like I say, Liverpool fans would love to see him. So maybe this is his chance.
I mean, for some reason I like him as well. Like I don't know what it is. I want
Just
him to
sexy,
do
mate.
well.
Just a sexy bastard.
But personally, I pick Gakpo like every single day of the week.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Mm,
And mate, there's every chance of Gakpo starting. Obviously got the
mm.
Dutch connection, but he had a great Euros. He had a great ending to last season with Liverpool. He was like one of our best players in like the last 5, 7 games.
Yeah,
Um, and I thought he'd be straight in the starting lineup under Slot, to be honest. But Diaz is Diaz, and it's hard to knock him out of the team. But yeah, you're right. Gakpo could come in for sure.
I mean,
Um,
also,
City,
I mean, sorry, just Jota as well. Like Jota was playing that false nine perfectly, like at the beginning of the season, and he picked up goals. So why not? I don't know.
yeah,
You've still got
he's not
options,
done
haven't you?
enough. He's not done as much as everyone would have hoped for when they brought Jota in. Like, he's obviously got a goal and I think he's got an assist. But yeah, we were probably hoping for more from Jota in these kind of
Mm,
opening games. A lot of the people
sure.
who didn't own Salah, like myself, were hoping to soften the blow with some Jota points, but yeah, they've not been forthcoming as yet. But yeah, we'll see. Jota is actually one that I'm considering chopping out on my game week. six wild card. Let's see. Let's see. It might pain me to do. I might just have to swap him for another Liverpool player. We'll see.
Yeah.
Um, City versus Brentford. This will be.
Good
This won't
game.
be a walk in the park for City. This will be tricky. Haaland scored last night. Scored the winner for Norway. His good form continues, and they haven't really got anyone to rotate him with. Now they got rid of Julian Alvarez. So yeah, you think he'll be straight back in starting lineup and playing for the weekend. As we said before, Foden's been ill. Whether or not he's fit enough to come back into the starting lineup, we'll see. Um, but yeah, they've got players back now. Grealish is back. They brought Gundogan back, so there could be a little bit of rotation here, perhaps. Pep will assess the squad when they get back from international duty. But Brentford are looking good, man.
What is wrong with Foden? Like, is he okay? Bit worried about the boy. On social media,
I
he
don't know
seems
what's
to be
wrong with
like
him.
knocking about. Like, he's there with his kid, like jumping in his new car and stuff, man. Or is just Pep just resting, like giving him a proper rest after the
Let's
Euros?
have a look. Let's have a look. I'm gonna look at my man Ben Dinnery
Okay.
and see if he's got a
Oh yeah,
reason. Yeah, Big Bad Ben. The only quotes we've got from Pep about Foden is that Pep said in the last press conference before the last game is Foden still doesn't feel good. That's all we've got. That's all we've got.
maybe
He might
maybe he's
just
got a
be. He might just
dicky.
had a long week. Just need a little chill by the sofa.
Yeah, little
Just
dicky
not really
tummy.
feeling up to it. Yeah, exactly. Villa versus Everton. Um, like a few of the England boys, he didn't go out on international duty. He had a knock, same
Who's that?
as
Sorry.
Saka, same as Watkins. So Watkins has picked up a knock supposedly. Saka picked up a knock supposedly. Palmer also picked up a knock and weren't fit for the international against Ireland. I imagine they'll all play in the next game. It was probably just one of those friendlies they weren't up for, and yeah, I think Watkins will be back. But the thing is, if there is any doubt about Watkins' fitness, you think John Duran will be straight in with the form that he's shown in the first
My
few games.
goodness. Yeah.
And yeah, for Watkins' sake, let's hope that's not the case because he might struggle to get back in the starting lineup if Duran keeps up playing the way he's been playing. A lot of people will
Mm,
have actually bought Watkins in this week on Wildcard with Villa's
hmm
fixtures if they hadn't bought him in last week. So yeah, something to keep an eye on. Bailey
Needs a good
also
game.
picked up a hamstring injury in the last game,
Mm.
so Villa a little bit depleted attacking wise going into this game. Um, so yeah, again, maybe Everton have got a little chance to shut out Villa, especially if Branthwaite does get a return into the starting lineup.
A good shout. I think Watkins actually is still struggling with an injury. I feel like that one's a little bit of a yeah, not just a load of bullshit for the international. And hopefully this little week off has given him a bit of respite he needed. The rest of them, they're all playing. But yeah, he needs to find some form without doubt because Duran is firing. So
Yeah, buddy. So yeah, and then who's next? We've got Bournemouth versus Chelsea. Yeah, God knows. God knows what's going to happen in this game. Do you know what I mean? I haven't got Scooby what Chelsea are going to do. Palmer, like I said, had picked up a knock, but he was seen training. He's fine.
he's
There's
fine.
photos of him that I saw this morning, so he'll be starting absolutely no problem. But yeah, Bournemouth are at home. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you what's going to happen in this game. What do you reckon, Will?
Yeah, it's going to be open to see what Chelsea team turns up, I guess. Semenyo is on my watch list. He's picked up a return in every match. Looks very very tidy. They've got dicey fixtures coming up. It's too hard to call, but then they get good from sort of like game week 11 by the looks of things. Really nice run. But yeah, he's going up. He's going up in price at 5.6, and yeah, definitely one to watch for sure. But yeah, looking forward to that game actually. I might watch that one down the pub with the lads.
And the pub. Is that a Sunday match, that one? I mean, is that Sunday?
It's a Saturday evening, 8 o'clock match.
Oh, it's the late
Because
kick-off Saturday.
on
Only two games on
Sunday
Sunday.
we have a big one.
we do have a big one. We got a big
on
one.
Sun. Yeah,
Tottenham versus Arsenal, the North London derby.
big.
That'll be a good game. That will be a fierce contest and quite an even contest. Because Arsenal suddenly don't have a midfield all of a sudden.
Yeah, out of
Um,
nowhere.
Odegaard went off with a sprained ankle last night and certain to miss out this weekend. Rice is obviously
100%.
suspended. Marino, he'd done his shoulder in training as soon as he signed. So their midfield is gonna contain Thomas Partey will be starting for sure.
Hmm.
Um, whether or not Havertz drops back into midfield, probably not because Jesus is still injured. So there's talk of like Zinchenko coming into midfield and then maybe choosing one of like Jorginho, um, or who else have they got? I feel like there's someone else who could do a little job for them. But yeah, they're depleted to say the least.
Do we see a certain Mr. Sterling pop into the side? Do we see a little bit of him, do you reckon, at this game? Whether, depending on the result, on how they're getting on at 60 minutes, I guess. If it's 2-0, 3-0,
Well, yeah, I
Raheem
mean, I
Sterling.
guess what you could do is you could drop Havertz back to players like the eight and then put Trossard up top, put Sterling out on the left, perhaps. That
Hmm.
was it. Sterling was another one, wasn't he, with his great training video, looking super sharp on his
Oh, sharp.
highlights video. Yeah,
No, yeah,
good
it'd be
God.
interesting. Obviously looking forward to that game.
I actually fancy Sterling to do quite well at Arsenal. If he manages to get some game time, I think he's going to fit into that team quite nicely. So I guess the question for Spurs will be whether or not they're going to get back Solanke for this game.
Oh yeah, good
Also, Van
point.
der Ven missed out as well in the last match. If they'll be obviously very keen that those two are back, if they're both starting, um, it'd be really good. It'd be a really tight affair, and I mean it always is. But I mean that's a weakened Arsenal, and that's a much more strengthened Spurs with Solanke and Van der Ven back in starting lineup. So yeah,
Mm,
that will be a great game on Sunday.
looking forward to
And then
it.
the last match, Wolves versus Newcastle. This will be a good game for Isak. I think if you're one of the few people that don't have Haaland or Salah, Isak could be a captaincy shout for you this week.
Hmm.
Um, he scored midweek in international duty. Obviously, he scored in the last game out for Newcastle against Spurs. So all those people that transferred him out, which there were many, probably for the likes of Watkins, um, suddenly it's a decision that could prove a little bit costly this week. Let's see. What do you reckon about this game, Will?
Yeah, I mean, let's face it. He should have scored a brace against Tottenham. That cross that looked like a cross, but it just chipped the goalkeeper. I don't care what anyone says. The one that hit the bar, he made such a difference last season. We all know the power of that guy. When he's on form and he's got his own fixtures are just topsy turvy for a bit, but he could. I mean, you could see him getting a goal in every single one of those fixtures, and that is all you need from him. He's brilliant, and I will regret. I will 100% regret not having him.
Hmm. Did you just remind me? Was he in your team? Was he in your team before Wildcard?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he
Had
was.
him.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, you
That's
could be
my
one of those guys.
only.
You could be one of those guys with pie in your face on Sunday evening.
I will eat that pie because I have a feel. But I have a feeling that between Haaland and Salah, it will be if they both get if they continue in their run of form, it doesn't matter what he gets. To be fair, so
Yeah, fair
we
point.
shall see.
All
The
right,
beauty of
cool. All
FPL.
right. Absolutely, William. Well, that completes our game week 4 preview. So let's just go through our teams then for this week. Obviously, we've been through Will's in detail. Will, just run me through your starting lineup if you weren't to make any changes, which I'm sure is almost certain that you will be tinkering further. But for now,
Yeah.
just for argument's sake, starting lineup, we got.
Okay. So I've got Martinez in goal. In defence, I've got Concert, Robertson, and Dunk. In midfield, I've got Anana, Minter, captain on Mohamed Salah. TBC. Palmer flagged, will be back. Eza, and then up front Haaland and João Pedro, and then Fabianski, Gabriel, Greaves, and at the moment it's Ujo. Sorry, but yeah, I will be changing him before the end of the game week, I'd imagine. Before the game week.
All the days out, mate. Not even in the country anymore.
Yeah. I don't know. I should just change them now so I don't forget. But yeah, that's my team. I'm questioning whether Haaland at home or Salah at home against Nottingham Forest. Yeah, Haaland against Brentford. I'm leaning towards Salah. The Forest is just the better fixture in my opinion.
Lovely. Okay, so potential Salah captaincy for Will. So going on to my team for this weekend, I've got Raya in goal against Spurs. I've got Alexander-Arnold home to Forest. Robinson home to West Ham. Pedro Porro is getting the shout at the moment home to Arsenal, which I'm feeling better about by the day as it happens with Arsenal's injuries. Jota home to Forest. Rodgers home to Everton. Smith Rowe home to West Ham. Palmer away to Bournemouth. Minte home to Ipswich. Isak away to Wolves, as I said, is a nice little shout. Suddenly looking more of a differential, which I'm liking. And then captain Erling Haaland home to Brentford. I do have. I've got a bench of Solanke, Hall, and Bednarek. Hall and Bednarek will stay there. And Solanke, if we get some news on Friday, whenever the press conference is, or they're playing on Saturday, aren't they? So it's probably a Friday press conference from
Sunday.
Almost at
Sunday.
Oh, they are
Spurs,
Sunday.
Arsenal's. Yeah, Spurs, Arsenal's.
Oh fuck! Of course
Sunday.
they are. Yeah. So sorry. So if Ange gives us some news on Saturday's press conference that Solanke fit to play, could be a decision to make. If I bring him in, potentially might drop out Smith Rowe, perhaps. Something to think about there. But yeah, man, I'm super happy with this team. Raya in goal away against Spurs is not great, but I might get some save points in there. Otherwise, what I was tempted to do, which still might happen, is transfer out Hall for Digne of Villa. Because Villa have obviously they're home to Everton. They've got a nice couple of fixtures, and I'll probably just use them for a couple before their fixtures start turning, and then wildcard them back out. I'm not sure. It's not an essential pick. It's like I'd swap if I bought in Dean, I'd play him instead of Porro. So I don't know if it's worth it really. I'll keep thinking on that. But yeah, like I say, super with this team. And,
do you think that you take a risk on putting Solanke in the lineup and potentially getting reduced if he gets reduced minutes? Because you're not going to hear from Ange before you've got to make the call at 11 on Saturday. So
no,
do you reckon
unless I've got assurances, it's a good point actually. Yeah, because it'll be after the deadline by the time we know. So yeah, he's getting benched. Good point, mate. Very good point. Well made. He's going to sit on my bench, and that's my team, everybody. Thanks very much. Cool. So, guys, they are our teams. We'd love to see your teams. Why don't you join our mini league? The league code is MUOMWR. Get involved. Join the league. There will be a prize. What the prize is going to be is we're still developing it, but it's a really sweet looking Tom and Will FPL shirt, still in development. It'll be coming out very soon. It's something that's going to look quite nice, and you are going to want it, I swear. But we'll get you on the podcast at the end of the year, and we'll get you on for a little chinwag, and you can tell us all of the tips and tricks next summer. So yeah, get involved, come on the show, win some merch. What's not to like? Do it. Right, Will, shall we do it? It's Match of the Year! Bye. This week, here we go. As mentioned at the top of the show, it's the North London Derby. We randomly selected who let's face it, who would get Arsenal? Because in theory they've got the better players. It landed on me. We've got a little spinner which randomly spins, and it landed on me. So who would get Arsenal? So Tom is Arsenal, Will is Spurs.
I didn't want Arsenal anyway.
Let's go through our teams. We'll go through our teams before I announce the caveat, which will throw everything into the wind. It's me to go first again, I guess, because I lost again last week. It was a draw after 90 minutes, but then Mario Balotelli lost to Eric Cantona in rock, paper, scissors, which is a real shame.
So good.
Gotta love this game, guys. You've got to love it. So my first pick in goal for Arsenal, none other, no surprises, David Seaman.
Of course, you have that moustache. I have gone with Hugo Lloris because I liked him for a little while.
Okay. Defence, Sol Campbell.
So, tricky one, this one, because I initially also picked Sol Campbell, but I don't think that will work out very well, and it will get very confusing with ChatGPT. So I actually went with...
It's a shame, though. It's a shame. Any other week, I would say, let's just do it, but I think ChatGPT's got enough on its plate.
It's so true. Wait for this caveat. So actually, I went with Gary Mabbott, old school.
Gary Mabbott, fantastic. So my remaining 3 picks are going Mark Overmars next.
He's really good. He was really, really good back in the day.
Also ties in quite nicely with the caveat, actually, Mark Overmars.
It took me a second.
You'll see why. You'll see why, guys. You'll see why.
It took me a second. Okay, I've got
another
an absolute. Yeah, I've got an absolute legend. Doff my cap to Paul Gascoigne.
Oh, really?
How'd you like that? You like that, didn't you?
Yeah, I love it when I don't give any thought to what players you're going to pick. Then I'm always pleasantly surprised. Yeah, lovely. I'm going to go Dennis Bergkamp, please.
I've gone to try and combat a little bit of Dennis Bergkamp's lack of potential pace there. I've gone with Gareth Bale.
Oh, good shout, mate. Very good.
Gaza.
Very good.
Bale.
This team's actually a lot stronger than I was hoping, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
So I'm going attack heavy. And how can you have Arsenal without Mr. Thierry Henry, right?
You can't. Like, he is arguably up there in my favourite players of all time. I cannot speak highly enough about man. Anyway, so my pick was going to be Jermaine Defoe, who's right in there with Thierry Henry, and I love Jermaine Defoe. But instead, I've actually gone with someone slightly left field, and I've just gone with Jurgen Klinsmann because I just liked the idea of having Gascoigne, Bale and Klinsmann in one side. So. Yeah, nice, mate. Very nice. Okay, cool. So that is the team. The
caveat is a punchy one, guys. I'm going big this week. So this week, the match will take place on Mars. And what I'm saying to ChatGPT is that I want they will be wearing protective outfits, obviously, to keep them grounded on the surface of Mars. But unfortunately, what can happen is with the contact of football, if they take too much contact, they will damage their suits and they will float away into space, never to be seen again. So let's throw that to ChatGPT and let's see how this unfolds.
Okay, I'm ready. You ready?
You've
got the second half. Not. Second half's in the notes ready for you. Yeah, okay, just so you know. Okay, so right. Match simulation: Arsenal versus Tottenham, the North London derby. ... on Mars! ! It's a great start. Welcome, football fans. Welcome, football fans, to the most outrageous North London derby yet. Arsenal versus Tottenham, taking place on the red planet Mars. The stadium is like no other, built in a crater with the underworldly atmosphere, complete with low gravity and the risk of players floating off into space if they take a heavy hit. It's a fierce rivalry, but today it's out of this world, literally. The game kicks off with Arsenal immediately on the attack. Overmars, showing no signs of Martian fatigue, zooms down the left flank with blistering speed. The gravity suit give his runs an extra bounce, and Tottenham defence looks like they're being caught off guard by his quick bursts. 7th minute, early drama. Bergkamp picks up the ball just outside the box, dances around Mabbott and attempts a curling shot towards the far post. Loris, fully focused, dives and makes an outstanding save. The reduced gravity makes his leap look more like a graceful glide, and he tips the ball just wide. This is just
Nice.
ridiculous. 10th minute. Tottenham hits back. It doesn't take long for Spurs to respond. Gascoigne pulls the strings in midfield, shielding the ball and floating past Campbell with a clever turn. He finds Bale, who charges forward and launches a rocket of a shot from distance, but Seaman stretches across his goal and palms the ball away in style. The crowd and Martians and Earthlings alike erupt at admiration. 15,
The Martians are up.
The 15th minute, first Martian mishap. As Klinsmann tussles with Campbell in the Arsenal box, the two collide heavy, and in the reduced gravity, the impact causes a malfunction in Campbell's suit. The crowd watches in disbelief as Campbell begins to drift. Yeah.
No.
Campbell begins to drift off the surface of Mars, flying higher and higher into the crimson sky. The referee signals for the game to continue, and Arsenal are down to 4 players.
Oh, no.
Wait,
He's my only defender. I went attack heavy.
Okay, Arsenal down to 4 players. Arsenal opens the scoring. Down a man, but undetermined, Arsenal presses forward. Henry showcasing his trademark grace, dribbles past Mabbott with ease, and he plays the perfect 1-2 with Bergkamp before rounding Loris and slotting the ball into an empty net. Go!
4 men. We've only got 4 men. Come on.
You're cheering Arsenal. He's just danced through that Martian dust and kissed the ball into the net. Henry puts Arsenal in front with an absolute masterpiece. 1-0 Arsenal. Okay. 30th minute, as per Spurs' instant response. Tottenham quickly regroups. Gascoigne, clearly motivated by Arsenal's lead, plays a delightful pass to Klinsmann. The German forward takes a brilliant touch to control the ball and chips it delicately over Seaman. Goal! He's floated that ball like he was on a magic carpet ride. Klinsmann equalises with a cheeky chip and the crowd goes wild. 1-1. Yes.
Mate, Thierry, Mark and Dennis, they need to start getting physical. Do you know what I mean? I need to start taking some of you guys out of the game. Come on, boys.
40th minute. Henry space-bound moment. As Henry chases the long ball over the top, Mabbott comes flying in with a heavy shoulder barge. Impact sends Henry and we're crashing into one of the Martian rocks surrounding the pitch.
No.
A horrifying gasp spreads through the crowd as Henry's suit malfunctions and he slowly floats towards the Martians. Arsenal loses another player to space. And that's half time. That's half time.
Thierry and Sol. Mate, do you remember when ChatGPT came out and there was claims that it was racist? Do you know what I mean?
Yes, just a little bit. Okay,
Outrageous.
over to you, Pickle. Over to you, my friend.
Okay. I'm just looking for it. Alright. Right, 50th minute. Believe it or not, Spurs take control. Tottenham, now with the numerical advantage, begin to dominate position. Bale, using the low gravity to his advantage, glides past Overmars with a brilliant piece of footwork. He lets loose with a thunderous shot from 30 yards, but Seaman somehow manages to tip it over the bar, keeping Arsenal alive. 57th minute, Bergkamp's genius. Arsenal, even with fewer players, refuses to give up. Bergkamp collects the ball near the halfway line, dribbles past Gascoigne and approaches the box. With a delicate chip, he lost the ball over Loris and into the top corner. Goal! 2-1 Arsenal. We've only got 3 men. He's just written his name in the stars, literally. These are good, mate. These are better than the ones back on Earth. 65th minute, more suit drama. As Gascoigne goes in for a tackle on Overmars, the two collide heavily. The suit of Overmars malfunctions after the impact. The speedy Dutchman starts floating off the pitch and into space. Arsenal are down to 2 players. What is going on? This is outrageous. What are Spurs suits made out of? What is going on here? So it's Overmars floating away. Thierry Henry floating away. Sol, he's gone. 75th minute. With the numerical advantage becoming too much to handle, Tottenham piles on the pressure. Gascoigne, refusing to be denied, plays the ball through to Bale, who rockets forward and smashes it past Seaman. Goal! He launched that like a Martian missile. Unstoppable. Bale brings the score level again. 2-2. 85th minute. An alien strikes.
What?
And a mischievous alien finally makes his move out of nowhere. He pops up on the sidelines with his ray gun and shoots at random. The unlucky victim? Gascoigne. His suit begins to malfunction and Gascoigne floats slowly but surely off into the Martian abyss, never to be seen again.
Gaza!
Tottenham is now down to 4 players and the game is back on equal terms. Well, not really. Not really. Spurs are down to 4. I'm down to 2.
Don't even know
Last minute heroics. With both teams desperate for a winner, the pace picks up. Bergkamp pulls off an audacious turn, sends a looping pass to Henry, who has somehow returned to the pitch. It seems that Martian ref didn't notice. Henry, with one last burst of energy, sprints towards the goal, flicks the ball over Lloris, and it's a goal. Floated. He floated through space like a Martian ballet dancer and slotted it home. Henry clinches the game in the dying moments and Arsenal takes the lead. It's 3-2. It's a win. Who would have thunk it? Henry, somehow, after floating away, has managed to return to the surface of Mars. I guess that's what legends do, mate. Come on! 3-2, a much-needed victory for Team Tom, and that is 3-all overall. Will, can I get your reaction to an incredible game of Martian football?
I mean, do you know what? ChatGPT, as we've seen in the previous episodes, if you've not seen the previous episodes, they're all on YouTube, by the way, it just does what it wants. It doesn't make any sense. There was an alien who shot
incredible
guns.
That's Mars, mate. That's Mars. That is great.
and that's the real quiz. That's Mars. Oh God.
And that's Mars. All right, that about does it this week, William. Guys, thank you very much for tuning in today. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. If you are listening on the podcast, please give us a 5-star review. It really helps us out. Like and subscribe, people. Like and subscribe. Will?
Oh, yeah. And don't forget to turn on the notifications on both the pod and on YouTube so you don't miss any updates or episodes. And yeah, follow us on social media. What is it?
Tom and Will FPL.
All the platforms. So yeah, check us out.
Right.
Thanks very much.
Thank you very much, everyone. Great week. We'll be back next week with a Game Week 4 review. We'll see how Will's Wildcard got on. And yeah, look after each other. See you later, guys. Peace out. That's a wrap.
Nice. Fucking Martian. What is this, Space Jam?
It is basically Space Jam, actually. Come to think about it.
Did you recently watch Space Jam?
I watched Space Jam last week. True story.